And like for the first time in my life, I have a TV in my bedroom. That's never happened. My parents were so against it growing up. And like I watched TV growing up, but I was like, okay, cool. Now we can like have movie nights and all that stuff. And by the end of the night, like he's just falling asleep, or like he's playing video games and I'm doing whatever I have to do on my computer, and it just doesn't happen as much as it probably should. But I can't keep up with it. It's too overwhelming to start something that has like 5 seasons.
I know. I can't do that anymore. Like I've been debating on watching. I really want to watch the X-Files. I've seen the first couple seasons. I'd like to finish it, and I kind of want to watch Supernatural because it's super popular in the geek world, and I've never seen it. So, but the daunting task, like Supernatural is 13 seasons, and I'm a completionist. So if I start it, I'm going to finish it. And just 13 seasons.
You got all the time in the world. You know, it's not like you have to. You don't just chain yourself to the TV and then watch everything all at once. I mean, like it's there. You know, like it's not going anywhere. You can like. I understand. Like my problem is there's too many things that I don't know what to start. But I mean, like, don't look at it like, oh my God, there's 5 seasons of this, there's 13 seasons of this. Say, just watch one episode. When you get around to watching the next one, you watch the next one. It's no big deal.
I feel like Jason's the kind of guy who would be like, no, I gotta know what happens next.
I work from home, so all my work is email based. So Max is right. Like I have time to have the TV on and stuff. It's just 13 seasons is daunting, and they're talking about
one
bringing
episode
it back.
at a time. One little episode at a time. You'll be okay. You'll be okay.
I've never understood like people who've watched like all 13 seasons of Grey's Anatomy or however many they are, like twice.
Jason, your daughter has watched Grey's Anatomy all the way through. How many times?
That's what I was telling Hallea. That's why we were talking about like I said, I can't watch something over again because I got to just move on. I'm going to rewatch Last of Us with my girlfriend because she hasn't seen it yet. But it's just one season. Watching that because that show is phenomenal. Like it's worth another watch because she needs to see it. And my daughter's watched Grey's Anatomy so many times. And she told me that if I started watching Grey's Anatomy, for every season of Grey's Anatomy I watched, she would watch one of my shows with me. I watched 6.5 seasons of Grey's Anatomy and 0 shows with me. And that's just not fair. Hey, everybody, it's 3 Geeks Podcast. Jason, Max, joined by Hallea Jones. Hallea, it's been a while. How have you been?
It has been a while. I was just thinking when you said The Last of Us, like I watched that with my partner, and I don't think we've talked since that's come out, which was a while ago.
Yeah.
No, not since he's been in your life, I don't think.
No. Which is kind of crazy to think because we're a year and a half in and we already live together, but it just makes sense. And we already kind of were living together when we didn't live together. So, but yeah, what's been up with life? You know, the strike was a pretty quiet time acting wise, which was kind of like a blessing music wise. And so I've been kind of focused on the music a lot lately, just trying to get that going, writing with other people and whatnot, and recording a lot of my own stuff. And I'm working on a project right now that's trying to combine both film and music, because I've learned that every time I post anything music wise on my social media, but like very few people on my audience really give a shit about it. Because the algorithm's just like, yeah, no, you're not a music account. So it's really frustrating, especially with, because I'm not a niche person. I have so many different things going on. And just all of the algorithms, I hate that word. Algorithms just hate that. So I'm trying to come up with, or not trying, I'm actively coming up with ways of trying to make that work in as many ways as possible so that I can stop waiting on auditions and for the agent to call and start doing it myself, and creating some stuff that I would love to share in the future that is currently in the works. So I've been busy, but yeah, everything's taking its time as it always does, you know.
I can see on Instagram, I saw that you had like a recording area. I kind of see it in the background.
Yeah.
Music and stuff.
So my partner is he's a voice actor. He did voice on Bakugan, and he's done like a bunch of different things. And so he has this beautiful sound booth. I don't know if you can it's a full sound booth. Like you go in there and scream and you don't hear it. Like it just doesn't go anywhere.
Is that scary?
I mean, you can close it, but you really, really need to have a good scream. But yeah, so I've been using that to record my vocals. Kind of saves me at the time having to go into a proper studio, especially when I'm recording my own stuff. I can just kind of like turn around on my swivel chair and go over and do it over there. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of that, and I've been doing a lot of live performance lately, which has been a huge focus and a lot of fun.
How's that? You starting to grow an audience in that? Sorry, Max.
No problem.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because I feel like I have two different audiences right now in my life. I have my online audience and my in-person audience, and they both know me differently. And then there's some in the middle. There's some people in the middle who like know me from my real life world and my real life performances. And then some people who don't know me on both levels and only know me on one side. So it's been cool to develop my in-person career more, and also that's helping me with like becoming a better piano player has been a huge thing, and becoming a better performer and singer and whatnot. It's just going back to my earlier point, like trying to get that onto online, it's like water and oil.
I don't know, it's you definitely want everyone to be able to see everything, but also like maybe just like let it happen organically, like that you kind of have this like weird try life going on is really cool to me. I don't know, like it's like, hey, like you can go and interact with these people and you have one whole experience, and then you go for a whole different experience over here. That's actually kind of cool, I think. And like if you have audiences in all the worlds, like I guess it doesn't really matter, that they don't hang out with each other.
I know, and that's the thing. I'm totally with you, Max. Like that's the thing, is that I'm not here to become a viral sensation. Quite honestly, that terrifies me. The idea of virality is so scary to me, because I have seen it happen to so many people, and then it's like that's all they can post. Anything that they post that's outside of what made them go viral tanks. And people are like, hey, why am I following this person if that's not what they're going to post all the time? And that can work for certain people who are like, who had a 9-to-5 job and they got viral off of this one thing that's making them income outside of their job. And they're like, okay, I'll keep on doing this on my online world. But for me, I'm an artist. I'm multifaceted. I have different things going on. If I get viral as like someone singing online, or I mean, that wouldn't be horrible, but it depends. Like, am I singing a country song? Am I singing jazz song? Am I singing a pop song? Because it also depends. If I become viral from a country style song, if I post anything jazz, those country people are like, the people who liked my country video are going to be like, what is this? And then that causes either people to unfollow or disengage, which tanks your engagement, which just tanks everything else. So as a multifaceted artist, it's like, I'm totally with you. I don't want to choose, but this online world kind of pushes you to choose. And
Ray,
so
fight against it.
it's like a fight. Dude, I am fighting against the machine
We're
every
with
day.
you. We're with you. No, I mean, don't let yourself become algorithmed. You know, it's like, dude, like, and you're like, hey, the acting thing, you know, I had to put that on pause because of everything. You're into your music, you know, like, and roll with it. And especially if you're flowing, you're feeling creative, and it's coming out of you, like, let that come out of you, and the audience will be what it is. You know, I don't feel constrained by, like, because everyone, even the computers, they all want to put you in some sort of box. And if you don't fit in the box, don't fit in the box.
I know. And I do that. I do that as much as possible. And I'm like, I don't want to be in this box. And like, just to clarify, I haven't put acting on pause. The industry was put on pause.
Oh, yeah. Everyone was on pause. Yeah, no, that was.
Yeah. And I'm very much auditioning. And like, the auditions I'm getting are awesome. Like,
dope.
There was an audition I did a few weeks ago that was pretty sick, that we've already talked about the show. And they went a different direction, and that's okay. But they still, like, I still got to audition for it, which was like, as soon as that came into my inbox, I was like, woo! So the auditions are coming. Like, they're really exciting, and they're really fun roles. And especially since I went brunette, they're so much more interesting, like way more interesting than the blonde roles. Which, thank God. I'm very happy about that. But yeah, no, I haven't put acting on pause. It's just kind of like, acting comes and goes in so many different ways. Like, the auditions are coming, but it's like, I can't wait on my agent to call. And that's also another reason why, like, I'm trying to focus on the social media thing and trying to monetize it, because, you know, I have an audience, but it's so out of my authenticity to monetize my online world, because I've been doing it for so long, and I've created this relationship with my online audience where it's like, if you see me selling tummy tea, like, you'll know that I am struggling. I mean, tummy tea, yeah. But like anything else, I would do in order to just kind of like passive, like not passive, but like kind of get some income going. But I don't feel authentic doing that. You know, it just doesn't feel right, even though it just makes the most sense, especially because as an actor, I don't have guaranteed income, but with online world, I can make that. It's just fighting with that box that I've been put in. It's like, what's going to give? Like, either I fit into that box and I make some income in that box, or I don't fit into the box and maybe make a living of some sort. Not even, it won't even be a living. It will be like groceries. Like,
It's like, yeah, I got to eat this week.
Yeah.
I know you've done music videos and you've put stuff on SoundCloud. Have you released anything on iTunes or Spotify?
You know what, dude? That's a really good observation.
Your music's good.
So I was thinking about this today, that I really need. So when I released my album As Is, which is like the last thing I released on SoundCloud, which was 2021, 2020, early 20, something like that. It was over 2 years ago. I called it As Is because I wanted to make it clear that it wasn't perfect. It was self-produced. It was just an expression of artistry and my deep feelings in life in general, my storytelling. And I was like, you know what? I don't want this to die in the archives. I'm just going to let it out. Just let it go. And I've been thinking lately that I need to do that again, because I've gotten to this point where I've been caring too much about I'm getting so precious about my music again that I'm actually hating it. And I'm hating it because it can't be perfect. And I think I need to love it because it's not perfect. And that is so difficult to do when you set out with the intention for it to be Spotify releasable, because Spotify means it has to be perfect or near perfect and up to standards, right? And then I always get in my way of being like, okay, well, what if this is the song that goes viral and it's not authentically me because it's perfect in a way I thought that the industry would want it to be perfect. So I feel like I spend most of my days battling with myself, and the part of myself that's not the artist, but the person influenced by the outside world and the expectations that I've been seeing put on artists. I mean, artists have to be like musicians or like art. You have to be an artist, but then you also got to be a business person. You got to be a content creator. You got to be a marketer. You got to be all of these different things, your own publishing person. It's just a lot. So I think I'm going to do what you're saying of just putting things out on SoundCloud for fun. And I heard the other day, I'm on a little bit of a ramble right now, but I heard the other day that SoundCloud is coming back as the hot thing for Gen Z because of how much more, like non-serious it is. So maybe I'll become one with the Zers.
Yeah, that might be where you pick up another audience, and the audience that'll pay you a little bit. But no, like that's cool, and just with Spotify and like how shady they are with like 10 billion people could listen to your song and you're gonna see like 10 cents from it. It's like I fully understand people kind of being like, well, hey, you know what? Like I'm just gonna go over here where at least people are having fun. And there's not any of this just oppression from it. Like that's
a lot of musicians skip all that. They go straight to YouTube now, which you've done a few times.
Yeah, I haven't gone too hard on YouTube. I just remember being younger and wanting to start a YouTube. And now I look back on that and be like, and I'm just thinking like, girl, where could you have ended up in your career if you had started that YouTube all those years ago? Because I'm talking like 2013, 2014, 10 years ago. I could be popping off right now.
OG for sure.
Well, you treat your Instagram like YouTube. I mean, you could have been cleaning rocks for all those years on YouTube.
Actually, though, and it's all in my highlight reels too. Like you could go through all my highlight reels and know what I've been up to for the last 3 years. Like easy. Did you guys see what happened to my toilet the other day? That was
I don't know.
You would know. You would know.
It was that bad, huh?
That's the craziest question. No, it was actually kind of freaking hilarious. I was cleaning the bathroom and a candle fell on the toilet seat was up and a candle fell from a shelf and it exploded everywhere. My toilet seat broke. Or no, like the whole bowl. The bowl just shattered.
From a candle?
From the candle, yeah. Like a glass container candle.
It was like the heaviest duty candle you've ever seen in your life.
Whoa. And the candle didn't even break. Like,
oh my God. Keep that candle forever. That's a sign of something. I don't know what it is.
Blake threw it out. My partner threw it out. And I was like, honestly, as soon as he did that, I was like,
oh, that was your lucky candle.
I mean, okay. You guys see this?
Oh my God.
That's the candle.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That's my bleeding foot.
Oh wow. Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah. And honestly, I gotta tell you guys, when I was there, all I heard was the loud breaking and like the explosion. And then I look down, I see the candle, and I'm like, what broke? The candle's not broken. And then I look at the floor. That was the second place I looked, was at the floor, and there's white porcelain. And I was like, did we have any decoration that's white porcelain? Like, why is there broken white porcelain on the ground? And all I hear is Blake in the other room. He's on this call with his writing team. And he's like, guys, I'll be right back. And he comes in. He's like, holy shit, the toilet. And I did not notice until he pointed it out, because I was in such a genuine state of shock because I didn't know what happened. Anyway,
because the candle was in the toilet.
Yeah, so I was
you're looking dead at that candle, like, what broke?
The candle's not broken.
The candle was never made out of porcelain.
What's on the floor? Like, what's going on?
Oh my goodness, that's something. I don't know. That's focus, laser focus.
I was just in genuine shock. So anyway, as we're talking about my Instagram being a YouTube, I, of course, you guys know documented the whole thing. And that night I went to an acting class, and it was like a 5-hour acting class. I come out of it and I've got like 25 DMs from friends being like, what? Like, just people genuinely like, I'm living for this series. Like, what is going on here? It was crazy. But yeah, I find that I'm so comfortable sharing online, and I don't share everything online. I'm very particular about what I share, but I like to share things that make me laugh, because I hope that they make someone else laugh. Because if it just makes one person laugh, or it makes one person feel comforted, that's all that matters to me. Because I see it in the long run of just being like, hey, I'm developing like a relationship kind of like through this weird thing, that, you know, if they do end up in the same city that I'm having a show at, they're more likely to come out to a show because there's a connection there. And I love that kind of stuff. You know, I don't want to be posting fake things that build fake audiences, because those fake audiences aren't the ones who are going to come to the show, bring their friends, buy merch, support the artist in the long run. And like I said, I'm here to build a career rather than just a flash in the pan. And if you can make people feel something, if it's happiness, sadness, laughter, you can, that's someone who's going to stick around. Because that's how I feel about when I follow people. If they make me laugh, they make me feel like I'm like a part of something. That's what's important.
I just realized it hasn't been a year and a half since you've been on. You were on right before Scream 6 came out, because I remember you hinted to us paying attention to the movie very closely. Jesse was in it. He came on and reviewed it with a Scream star, Jesse Camacho.
Yes, star of Scream 7.
I did not leak that information, though. I just hinted at it. Yeah, he wanted that so badly. And like, I don't know how it ended up happening. He had an audition, but I don't know. I think his agent was just like, hey, you got anything? Because like, this guy deserves to be in this movie.
Everyone needs to be in this movie. No,
I was like, dude, I'm helping you with this. Like, we were promoting Jesse and Scream.
I know, I remember.
All over social media. And he kept his word. He came on and told us everything about it, like to every detail. Yeah. He's like, I left my phone charger on set. I had to go back the next day and get it. And we're like, sure, you just left it on set.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, oh, Nev's on set? Oh, wow, I just got to pick up my phone charger here. Say, sorry, let me get it away.
What's happening?
But I mean, with all the stuff that's going on with the next Scream movie, he might actually end up being the star of the next Scream movie.
He might just be the star of the next Scream movie. He deserves it. He busted his ass. Yeah, I mean, and it was great because the scene he did was with a really good friend of mine, Mason Gooding, and like the fact that they got to be on set together, and obviously it was, you know, when you go on a set with a bunch of cast who have been shooting together already, they know each other. It's difficult. It is really difficult. So I was really, really happy that I could have, you know, a little bit of a tether between the two of them. And he said that when he got on set, Mason was like, Jesse, like, because I had, of course, been like, hey, Mason, my friend Jesse's coming on set, like, you know, say hi to him. Mason's like the sweetest guy I think I've ever met. So he was all in for it, and Jesse had the best time, and they all just had a really good time. So I was so happy that happened.
Yeah, and we were telling him too. It's like he was a Make-A-Wish kid or something. Just because the way he was talking about the experience, like everything just went so well and everyone was nice and the whole thing was cool. It's like it wasn't one of those don't meet your heroes situations. And I was just like, yeah, I was ecstatic for the guy. Like, well, he's a great guy, and like I'm just happy when like good things happen to good people. Like that's just you don't really hear about that enough in the world. Like. But but good things do happen to good people. Like it can happen. So hold on to that little bit of hope. Especially if you're Scream 7-star Jesse Camacho. Like that's.
Let's start that hashtag. It's all about the energy you put out into the world. If you live in life being pessimistic, you will surround yourself with that pessimistic energy always. But if like you go out there like Jesse did and like spoke so fondly and so highly of it, I mean, that's not always going to get you a role in the movie of your dreams. Like, not always going to work. No. But like, it's definitely going to give you a higher chance than like being like, oh, I would never be in this. Like, I'm not even going to ask. I'm not even going to mention it. Like, he wouldn't have gotten it if he had not believe that there was even like a sliver of opportunity. And I mean, he's a great actor. Like he deserves the opportunity. And there's there's 100 other actors who are also deserving of the opportunity. So it's more so about how you put yourself out there and how you go about getting it and keeping yourself optimistic.
I gotta ask, we forgot to break up in Grayson's Encounter. Grayson's Encounter, you play a mom?
I play a mom. I play a mom. I'm a young mom. Because oh my god, on camera, I look like I'm like 16, okay? And like, yeah, there are young moms out there, but like, so when I actually got approached about this role, and the guy who had created it had watched Lock and Key and was like, I think he was just like, I'm going to wing it. I'm going to like message her agent and be like, would she be interested in this role? And I wasn't working. And I was like, you know what? All experience is good experience on set. And I walked away from that set being like, wow, I just learned like a lot just because it was a low budget movie. And I had most of my experience on high budget like Netflix, and We Forgot to Break Up was more like medium to high indie production budget, and this was low budget. And so it was like, whoa, I learned so much from seeing the complete opposite of what I was used to and realizing like how much I do know about being on a set. And I'm like, damn, I could do this. Like, I feel like I could have my own production and like, low budget, whatever. Because it's all about being a team. Like, building that team frame is so important. And We Forgot to Break Up was, we saw it. We watched it the other week on like a kind of like a mini version of a big screen. And
medium screen.
Like, yeah, but it's like not it's a mini medium. Like it's not like a house flat screen.
We call it a petite screen. Would that be?
Yeah. It's like the ones that directors go into to edit the movie and stuff. Like it's not one of the massive theater ones. But anyway, I play this character called Coco. She is a bassist, which was just amazing because that has always been an instrument I wanted to learn. I went and learned it. I learned all of my parts. I know, it's so hot. Like, I was like, damn. I went and learned all my parts. All of us on the show did, on the movie did. And I had been growing out my buzz cut for about 2 months at that point. They bleached it and dyed it manic panic pink. Yeah.
I think I remember seeing that on Instagram. You posted that, right? Okay.
Yeah. It was sick as fuck. Sorry to my French. And it's a movie about this indie rock band from the late 90s, early 2000s in Toronto that make it big in Canada. And they're expanding out to internationally and whatnot. And just kind of like the ins and outs of what happens behind the scenes with them as they grow. Hence the "we forgot to break up" part and all of the drama that happens between them. And Coco is a badass, but she's also, I would say, one of the most like loving, bubbly characters in the band. There's just so much going on with everyone, and she's like, yeah. She was so much fun. She was an absolute joy to play. And I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait for it to come out because I feel so. When I shaved my head, I knew it was a career altering move. It was not what would be typically advised if you were to go to this is how to be an actor in this industry. They will tell you, don't touch your hair. Okay. Don't touch your hair. And they would totally have been like, Hallea, what do you mean? Like, you just got off of this Netflix show, being a series regular, a beloved character, and you're going to go and shave your head? Like, what are you doing? Totally valid. Totally valid. But I was going through a little bit of something, and I needed a little bit of something. Like, I needed that for my own sanity at the time. It was probably one of the best things that I've ever done for myself. I have always put too much value on my hair, and especially being a blonde, I think the world puts a lot of value on blonde hair. And it taught me a lot about myself without that hair. And I went and filmed this movie that I have this buzz cut manic panic pink hair on. And then 2 months later, I go and film this other movie and I have like baby bangs dyed dark brown and I look completely different. And then when was it? September, October, I went and filmed another short film that hasn't been listed yet. That actually some crew members from Lock and Key reached out and were like, hey, would you be interested in this lead for this short film? And it was about lucid dreaming. And so I got to do that with my longer brown hair. So I feel like I've been really lucky to have different looks because at the end of this year, my demo reel is going to look pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not stuck in one character, you know?
Yeah, and then again, it's like fight against the box. Like that's what you got to do. No, I dig it. And cutting your hair, I'm not an actor, so I don't know the importance of like keeping a look or whatever. But like doing that, taking control for yourself, like, hey, I'm gonna do this whole other thing. And even just in life, when someone's like, I'm gonna go from like this long, pretty blonde hair to buzz cut, like that generally means like you definitely needed to take control of something. Like and that's good too, and like it worked out for you, and like you're saying, like now you have all these other different things that you've done, and like the journey is part of it too, so it's like that's just really cool, and I'm glad for you, that you're coming out of the other end of it and you're feeling great, because it's like not all of the people get like the good headspace, but like that's part of it. Like let people know about the journey. Like it's sometimes you gotta chop it down to zero. I do the same. But
I got 2 questions. One, how old was the kid in the movie? Was he 20? Because that'd be great.
The kid, oh my God, that would mean that I was 6 years old when I gave birth to that kid.
Gross. Gross.
I don't even think that is scientifically possible.
Yeah.
No, I think he was 12. He was so cute, and it was really cool to work with a 12-year-old, because like on Lock and Key, I didn't work with Jackson often. I think I worked with him once. Yeah, I think I worked with Jackson once during the scene where I get trapped in the cup. That was the one time, and even then we had a plexiglass thing between us. But yeah, it was really nice to work with like this. Oh, he was so sweet. He was a really, really sweet actor, and he was good for his age. So that was nice.
That's awesome. And then when did these come out? Do you know yet?
I have no idea about Grayson's Encounter. The guy who wrote it, produced it, was acting in it, and directing it. Is also editing it.
So many hats.
When I say low budget, like this is you've got to do it yourself kind of stuff. I mean, go for it. Go for it. Dream big, fall amongst the stars. You know what I mean? But we forgot to break up movie depends on when, like what festival it gets picked up by, and we have one that we were in consideration for Sundance and passed on that. And there's another few ones that we've been up for, and yeah, it's actually something about, I think we got a premiere at Flair in London.
All right.
Yeah. So, but we're hoping for something before that.
Nice.
But I mean, like, are you going to London? Are you gonna go to like the premiere? Like, if it's in London?
Like I said, I haven't been able to monetize my Instagram yet. If someone wants to fly me out to London, but I have bigger fish to fry, like rent and life in general. You know, that's the funny thing about being an actor and having a lot of followers on social media is that everyone thinks that you're rich. And it's like,
selling tummy teas.
I'm not selling tummy teas yet. I'm doing fine, but like, geez. But no, I would love to go to London. I have a few friends over there.
Hit your people up for the London money. Like, I know you don't feel authentic about it, but you need to go. Like, if it's going down, like, you need to go. Like, it'd be like, hey guys, like, I don't normally, I wouldn't normally do this, but we need to pay for this plane ticket.
I know. I mean, then there is the part of me that's like, there's the pride behind it, like if, I got to make my own way on these things. But, I'm 26. I'm at the beginning of my career still. I can't be hard on myself about this kind of stuff. And I speak so openly about this because I think upholding this idea that everything is like perfect is really toxic, and it can be harmful to a lot of young people in the industry. And like, if you are young and getting into this industry, like, know that it's not money bags right away, and it might never be. And it's like, it's all about perseverance, and, things come and go, but it's all up to what you choose to do with it over time. But I definitely, if Flair is the one that we do premiere at, I most likely will go. I mean, like, I can go. It's just not the priority budget right now,
Heard, but like,
yeah,
you gotta go. Like, I mean, have you ever have you traveled at all? Like, have you been outside the U.S.? Have you been outside? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so annoying. When I was doing Lock and Key, the majority of my like travel budget that I put aside from everything that I had made filming that was like New York and LA. It was like all business. It was all what is going to be the best bang for my buck career wise. And I made some really great connections out there I'm very happy with. So definitely got my money's worth, but I didn't travel farther than that. I went to Costa Rica at one point with a friend, and that was awesome. There's a story I won't share online about that, of why I went to Costa Rica in the first place. That was crazy. But yeah, and then I've been to London when I was a kid. I just remember it being so windy that I feel like I remember getting picked up by an umbrella. That's all I remember.
Just Mary Poppins around.
Mary Poppins, you know. I would love to go, but we are hoping for South by Southwest. We're in consideration for South by Southwest. So that would be, I don't know where that is. Where's South by Southwest? Does anyone know?
I want to go to one of these, like really bad.
South by Southwest. Where? Austin, Texas.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry about you going to Texas, but also that'll be fun.
It's cool. I'm sure it's cool if you're visiting. It's just not cool if you live there.
Yeah, I've never been. Makes me nervous, but like I do. If that's where we are to premiere, then that would be 100%. I would go, like 100%. Flair is, I think, a queer forward festival, so I definitely really want to go to that. But I think I would have to choose out of the 1 and 2. Just because I'm a normal girl who needs to make normal budgeting choices. But yeah, either one would be amazing. I think We Forgot to Break Up really deserves it. Like, I truly wouldn't speak well. I wouldn't speak at all about my personal thoughts on a project if I didn't think it was amazing. And I'm really impressed, and God, like that, honestly, it was the first thing I had booked in 2 years after booking Lock and Key. I didn't book anything for 2 years, and I was literally like, hey, this is my last audition. Why does this story happen so often? And I'm not even joking, this happened. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do 2 auditions, and then some shit hit the fan with my agents. That's a long story. Got a new agent. This was the last audition I did, and I booked it. And it was just one of those things that was so kismic. The whole band lived together in a loft for 3 weeks. We jammed every night. We set up like all of our instruments, and we just jammed every night. And we went to work and had an absolute blast. And it was incredible. So, and that really translates to the screen of how together we were and how much like we were genuinely friends, even though sometimes our characters had like on-screen tiffs. But like, yeah, it was something I'm super proud of. And it is I am curious, like, if it does have any pushback at the festival rounds, because it is progressive. It is a very progressive story in many ways. But I don't know. Who knows,
well,
right?
I can't wait to see it, Hallea. Thank you so much for coming on. We love having you. Everybody that's watching, go back the last 4 years. You can see all of Halea's appearance on our show.
Yeah, I mean, like, we'll just check out the tour of the business. That's all.
I thought you were about to say the past 4 years. You could go back into Halea's highlights and see what she's been up to.
Well, you can do that too.
That's true.
Before I let you go, do you ever get anybody that walks up to you about the rocks?
That was one of the first things that when I first started seeing Blake, my partner, he mentioned to me, because he went and kind of like did a little bit of a deep dive. You know, when you start seeing someone, that's what you want to do. And he was like, quite honestly, I think I fell in love with you when I saw those videos of you cleaning rocks, because it was so innocent. Like, it was just, you were so hyper fixated on this innocent act that was like meditative and peaceful for you. And it was so weird. And I knew then that I loved you. I'm not putting words in his mouth, but like that was kind of the basis of it.
Everybody follow Hallea at Hallea Jones. Follow us at 3 Geeks Podcast. Everybody have a great night. Thank you so much. Have a great